Welcome to the Launch Author Reveal, a talk show where we go between the pages of the book, behind the words, and right into the heart of the author who penned them for the intimate reveal of the book's backstory. Book lovers get great reads and giveaways, and authors get revealed during Q&A. Now, here's the Launch Author Reveal host, Michelle Chudy.
Hi everyone, this is Michelle Chudy. Welcome to the Launch Author Reveal. I'm so excited that everyone is here today. I just want to give you a shout out if you're here in the webinar. I want you guys to go ahead and sign in and let me know that you're here. And if you're watching via Facebook, you're on live, and I am excited to have you on as well. And I want you to know that the Launch Author Reveal is about giving you great reads, taking you behind the pages into the heart of the author. That's what this show is about today. So if you are actually watching via live, I'm just going to ask you to go ahead and leave your comments and your name and email as well, because we're giving away great stuff today. I have an author on here that not only is she a best-selling author, she's extremely generous, and I have giveaway after giveaway for you today. So I want you to know that we are live for a reason. One, I want you to fall in love with the author, but I also want you to interact with them. So you have a chance to ask questions. You have a chance to engage with the author and just, get into the story, find out what's going on with her backstory, because this is about going behind the stories and to find out why they wrote the books. And it's really cool because it's live, you never know what's going to happen. So I see we have people signing in today on the webinar. We already have Cheryl coming in. We have Larry coming in. So we have Nancy coming in as well. So I know we have Virginia, Colorado, and just fantastic how technology brings us all together. So let me tell you about our author, Corinna Kong, or Corinna Kong as she's known as far as her actual title. She is amazing, and she is going to talk today about how you can train for joy. And it's about, level setting success and actually becoming who you were made to be and being happy about doing that. And what I love about her is that she brings the scientific behind the whole spiritual piece of it and why you can be who you're supposed to be and how there's science that comes back and supports the overall plan. So let me tell you about Corinna. She has a master's in education and has a background in medical social work, educational technology, and leadership organization development. She is so skilled, it's just crazy. She's empowered over 2,700 families to overcome insurmountable challenges in her first career as a medical social worker. So what she's done, she has leveraged her skill sets in order to come in and just help people. She pours herself out through not only her knowledge, but also her gifts. So for the past 14 years, she's helped Fortune 500 companies with, tech companies, startups, NGOs in Silicon Valley. She's out of San Francisco. She's also helped with their leadership development and their programs to roadmap over 7,000 professionals and leaders to achieve their success. To me, that's just a wow number. So not only does she empower the individual, she empowers business owners and professionals like you to increase your happiness. So that way you can achieve your dreams. And then she leverages her knowledge of neuro leadership results coaching system, which is the science behind and things that you can actually do to change how you think. The new psychology of success, and her experience building a happy workplace to reveal a happy you. So that being said, let me bring this fantastic person on. That way you can actually talk to her and get more into her story. So let me start her video up. Hey, Corinna, how are you?
Hi, good morning, everyone. How are you doing today?
Well, it looks like we have some excitement going on in the room because Susan's in and she's excited to hear from you today. And we already have people popping in their information to get your reveal goodies. So one thing I think that is so amazing about the Launch Author Reveal is not only is it live, they get a chance to know you, but get some great reads. And then not just great reads, you're giving away limited edition signed copies. She's giving away free downloads for the next 2 days, today and tomorrow, of her best-selling book, Train for Joy. There's also a chance for somebody to go to her master class, which Rena is a fantastic trainer. I just want you to know that. She is sought after for not only what she coaches, but also her repertoire of professional experience. So, Rena, I wanted to talk today as we're getting into this, one, about your journey on how you wrote this book. So tell me about your book. What is it about?
So this book is about my struggles and also my victories. I didn't want to write this book to begin with. I struggled writing this book for maybe 6 months, because when I think about my own failures, and I thought, well, nobody wants other people to know about their failures. Nobody wants. But I think this book is not about failures. This book is about learning. It's about building a new mindset. It's about doing what you love to do and be excellent in what you do. It's about triumphs. It's about victory. So it's not about failures. Because this is something I really want to talk about failures. People think failures is a bad thing. No one wants it. We reframe it. Let's say when you are laid off or you lost your job, and people say you're in between successes, and I hated it because there's no such thing as in between successes. You are successful. You are successful. No matter whether you have a job, you have a fantastic title, you have a book, you're the #1 bestseller, or whatever, you're valuable. There's no failures, just learning moments. We learn from our failures, and we grow, and then we become stronger. And sometimes we are both vulnerable and strong at the same time. Just embrace both sides. And there's no failures. And success is in your own eyes. You can create your own version of success. And I have seen so many people I served, they pursue the success in the world. They pursue the success that people wanted them to have. Maybe I tell you a little story about myself.
I would love that. Yeah, I wanted to have a little story about you.
Yes, I am an Asian. Actually, I'm a Chinese. For Chinese people, I think the recording is going to reach way more people. Maybe there are some Asians and Chinese you're watching later on today. And I want to tell you, I think you resonate with me, because as an Asian, as a Chinese, we are perfectionists. And we want everything perfect, because if we are not perfect, or we are not doing perfectly, and we bring shame to our family. And we are in a shame-based culture. And so my father, when I was a young girl, my father thought, you're valueless. So it's quite hurtful when I think about my father thought, actually I'm worse than garbage. And that's how I grew up. But how did I compensate for that kind of worthlessness? I worked really hard, I studied really hard, and I wanted to please my father, and I wanted to get into very good universities, and I want to just please his heart. And I thought, when I become successful, and he will be pleased, and he will be happy. But it's not the case. Even if I gained quite a bit of success academically, and then I got a really good job in my hometown, Hong Kong, but it never pleased him. So this is what I want to say for those of you who want to pursue success prescribed by your family or by other people in the world. You are going to be depleted, unfulfilled, and you're going to be depressed if you continue that kind of lifestyle of pursuing others' success. So you get to create your own version of success.
That's a very powerful statement as far as like where you came from, and to the point of struggling to write the book on how to train for joy, because you actually had to overcome some pretty significant mindsets in order to get there. And one of the things that, if you all are watching this, is that this book is so powerful because it talks about how you can have toxic belief systems that hinder your success and basically self-sabotage. And Rena was just expressing, one of her core beliefs that she had to overcome, and, her own gender, her identity, was something that was a limitation to her based off of an expectation of her father. So Rena, let's talk about how the mindset is so powerful, because you are telling people in the book how they don't have to stay shaped by the words, the thoughts that they have, that we have the power to think ourselves into success. The Lord's equipped us with a powerful vehicle, which is our mind, in order to break free for that. So won't you tell me how you actually managed to get from your father's shaping of your worthlessness into someone to seeing who you are today?
So this is a bit about me, and I think I'm quite a bit of an achiever. So, but I achieve the success in my own mind, and it might be different from other people, what kind of success you want. But when it comes to overcoming the limiting or the toxic beliefs, first of all, you need to know you have those toxic beliefs. If you don't know it, you're not going to change it, because you don't even know. You just let your thoughts in the morning, when you get up, the moment those thoughts are going to come to you. You don't go to them, they come to you. And then if you don't know you have those kind of toxic thoughts, you are not going to be able to talk back. And you need to talk back. You cannot allow those toxic thoughts to come to you and attack you every single moment, because the moment when you let go, and the toxic thoughts are going to attack you. And even today, when I wrote a book, when I know the 5 toxic beliefs, not only me, but many people have. And I still struggle at times, especially around perfectionism. And I try to monitor my thoughts in the morning. So in the morning, when I first wake up and I thought, oh, maybe I'm not doing a good job, I'm not good enough, or maybe I need to do things differently, maybe I need to change. And that kind of thoughts, if you let them come attack you, and then you will get depressed, and then you will not succeed in any goals you set. And even if, when I talk about 2019, many people like to set new goals, right? But I can say very few people actually achieve big goals, big dreams, because every single day, if you allow that kind of thinking to attack you from the morning till the evening, till you go to sleep, you cannot achieve any dreams. You cannot achieve any goals. First of all, you need to be aware of your thoughts. Second, you need to know you have the power to overcome those thoughts. And then the third one, overcome the thoughts, and then replace those toxic thoughts into loving thoughts. Self-compassion. Practice self-compassion on yourself. And sometimes I pat my back. I just pat my shoulder and I pat my back. Good job today. And think about that. You are normally very generous to the people who are around you. When they feel they don't do an excellent job, and you say, oh, you have done the best you could. But how often do we talk to ourselves, oh, Rena, you have done the best you could? And it sounds awkward, isn't it?
Well, it's something that you definitely have to practice. And that's one of the things that I love about your book, is that not only are you addressing, you're literally pinpointing these specific beliefs. I told Rena before we got on today that she was reading my mail, and we're going to get a little bit further into some of the main ones that she addresses. But you literally give action steps on how people can activate and then apply what you're teaching, because it's literally something that would you say there's like 35,000 thoughts or decisions that we make a day? I think you
Yeah.
actually referenced that. There was a statistic in there that was like so powerful. So, you know, you're basically showing us not only the information, you're giving us the steps on how to action it and make changes. So let's, for the people that haven't read your book yet, again, this is a launch author reveal. For those of you that are on Facebook, we're with best-selling author Corinna Kong, and we're talking about her best-selling book, Train for Joy, and how you actually can have toxic beliefs that are limiting your success. She goes through the detail of identifying what some of those beliefs are and gives you solutions on how to resolve those toxic beliefs and turn it into something to move you forward. So Rena, let's talk about that. Give us some examples of some toxic beliefs that you address.
So one very common toxic belief, I think, is you think you're not good enough. You think you are not good enough. Every single day, I think if I walk around in grocery store, if I ask anyone, how do you think about yourself? People probably don't want to tell you, but I can tell most people think I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. That kind of voice just go around every single day, even if you are very accomplished, even you have done great job, and you still have a voice in you say, you're not good enough. And that voice is in me too. But I have to monitor. So what do you mean by you're not good enough? Think about who you are. You are not just a professional or a best-selling author. Think about you're the child of the Most High God, and think about some accomplishments you have achieved in the past and how you did it. And sometimes when we talk about how to get the self-doubt, like self-doubt detox, let me put it this way. How do we detox our self-doubt? We need to take actions, because if you are not taking actions, you're not doing anything, you're not proving to yourself you're motivated, you can take actions, you can go forward. And every single day, you just tell yourself, I have accomplished nothing today. My child is crying all day long, or I'm doing laundry all day long. So what have I accomplished? So I want to introduce a concept. It's called PERMA. Actually, is a positive psychology theory, positive emotions, engagement, relationships, meaning, and accomplishments. So every day when you try these 5 measures, ask yourself questions like, do I have positive emotion today? If not, how can I increase my positive emotion today? And then, do I feel engaged in the thing I do? Even when I go to the grocery store, I do some mundane things. Do you think you're engaged? You're engaged with yourself, you're engaged with your heart, you're engaged with the work, you're engaged with the people. And then the third dimension is positive relationships. Do you have positive relationship with yourself, first of all? And then do you have positive relationships with the people you care about, your significant other, and your family? Do you have positive relationships? And then meaning, even if you're under attack, there are lots of suffering in your life. You think about the meaning. What is the meaning of going through that suffering? Because you're going to go from glory to glory. And think about meaning of your suffering or your happiness. And finally, accomplishments. So have small accomplishments every single day. This is what I do. Every day I look back and I ask myself, what did I do well today? What worked today? What do I feel thankful for? And what have I accomplished today? It could be I finished reading a book. I finished writing 2 paragraphs of my book. And I actually sit down, wrote 1,000 words and that kind of things, you know. And then, or I talk with someone in the grocery store and encourage a girl to pursue her dreams and pursue the major she wanted. Don't listen to other people tell you cannot find a job with that kind of major. And think about that. Think about all the accomplishment you can have in a single day. If every day you measure your happiness by these 5 dimensions, I think you will increase your happiness significantly. And then happiness actually contribute to success, not the other way around.
You know, I wanted to go a little bit into some of these like self-sabotaging behaviors, because you talk about some things in your book that are so powerful that we don't even realize that we have. Because one, if you're raised in a dysfunctional family, like you mentioned that you were, and you have words from people that you respect and admire that are shaping you. You mentioned a shame-based identity, and I wanted to talk about that because I think a lot of people walk this out and they don't even realize what it is. And it was something that I didn't even realize that I had issues with until, you know, 40 years old, going through counseling, healing, and all that other stuff, that I realized that I had to identify with some of those behaviors. So why don't you talk about that shame-based identity and how that will hinder you from not only, you know, finding happiness, but also achieving, you know, success in your life?
So shame and guilt and self-condemnation are connected. So let me talk about guilt first. So guilt is about something you did wrong. Shame is about you're wrong at the core. And the root of shame is self-condemnation. So you're condemned. You're condemned by negative voices of the people you care about, like my father. So shame, you feel you are bad. You're wrong at the core. So if you have shame every single day, you don't take care of that, you don't get professional help, and it can grow into depression very easily.
That's actually important to know, because I think that there's a lot of people pleasers that are out there that when you have somebody of influence, specifically if it's a parent or someone that you just really esteem, they have a great impact on how you view yourself and also the decisions that you make. And one of the toxic beliefs that you actually address is the people pleaser type of personality. So what type of toxicity is embedded in people pleasing?
So people pleaser, they want love. Like maybe I am an example. I was a people pleaser when I was younger. I wanted to please my father. So I pursued my education because I wanted to please him. And people asked me to parties. People asked me to do this and to do that. And I would say yes. I never say no, because I thought people need me. I need to be needed. So if I'm not needed, I feel worthless. So I say yes, and I keep saying yes for things I don't want to do. In the workplace, it's very easily taking on more projects because you want to prove yourself, right? You want people to esteem you, to need you, and to so that I got more and more work. And also I did a lot of things that my heart didn't want to do. And I want to introduce a concept called congruence. So when you do things that does not align with your heart, your mind, your soul, your spirit, then, and there's a discord. When the discord, so the discord actually causes a lot of stress and anxiety in your mind, and also it's very bad for your health. It might lead to heart disease. Like for me, I have skin rashes whenever I feel anxious, stressed, and I have skin rashes. This is my body telling me, you need to think right. You need to change your thinking, and you need to take care of yourself. So one thing I want to mention about your body will give you signal about something is wrong as well.
That's amazing that you say that, because, we just had a previous author on who was talking about how your body talks to you. That was, Dorothy. She's a body talk expert. So you're just reinforcing how your body tells you things that are going on the inside, not only nutritionally, but emotionally, and how we need to actually respond in ways to resolve. So it's a matter of, one, changing how we think, but also loving ourselves enough to actually address, the fact that you're getting a rash. So, you guys, if you're watching this on Facebook, Corinna Kong is a #1 best-selling author. She is talking about her best-selling book, Train for Joy. And she's going into how you can have toxic belief systems that will affect your success. And she has great giveaways. For those of you that are watching via webinar, post your questions in here too, because, I'm going to moderate those for Rena. That way you have a chance to interact with her. But if you're on via Facebook, and if you want in on the giveaways, you just have to post your name and email. That way we can get back to you. And if you don't feel comfortable on the front-facing side, you can always message my page, and then I'll put your name in on the drawing. Just, I have to have your email. So that being said, hey, you have some blessings coming in here. Rena from Florida. We have Reva in here. We have Susan's in. Judy's in from Virginia. So you have a lot of folks that are giving you shouts out in the chat. And then again, I told you Cheryl's already in here too, and Larry, and we have Nancy. So, and our folks in from Facebook. So, okay, so let's talk about some of these other beliefs, because you really got into pressing some things on my side of the house, and I know this is a reflection of you as well. I like to say I'm a recovering perfectionist. And I think this is something that, a lot of us take pride in saying, oh, I'm a perfectionist. But you started that chapter with kind of no, and that's not a good thing. And not to say that was a slap in the face, but it was more like a punch in the nose. It's it's dangerous. Tell me why being a perfectionist is dangerous.
So perfectionist, there are two kinds of perfectionists, outward perfectionist or inwardly. I'm more like an inwardly perfectionist. And I blame myself for not doing well enough. And sometimes I would work extra hard to make sure the result is 100 or 200% perfect before I do something. And also another kind of perfectionist. I know a lot of that kind of perfectionists as well. They have extremely high expectation on others. And then they become depressed when other people are not meeting their expectations, and they want everything perfect. My job has to be perfect. I have to get promoted every 2 years, and my husband has to be loving, and my kids have to be good looking, and I need to make sure I look good all the time and in front of people so people praise me. But deep down, perfectionists feel worthless. The reason why you need to be so perfect in front of people, because otherwise you have nothing to hold on to. You feel like dirt. You feel yourself is like garbage. It's like dirt. And you need that kind of appearance or accomplishments or achievements to hold you up. And so other people don't see the dirt inside of you.
That's crazy that you say that, because you know how you said that you're an inward perfectionist. What you described as the outward was me. And that's something is like, I was reading how you feel that, you had to be broken free of that inward perfectionism. I actually was the outward and still have tendencies in that direction. And I think it's interesting because, I do my coaching too, and I'm an advocate of knowing who you are and how God has wired you. In my coaching practice, I help you find out, your spiritual gifts, your strengths, and everything, about what God's poured in to make every bit of you, and helping you to discern that. And part of that is that I know that my strengths help to contribute to that perfectionism in me, and to the point where if it's out of balance, I can be miserable to myself and also other people that are around me because I do hold them to high expectations. You know, and I like to say it's the spirit of excellence, but now that I'm reading your book, I'm kind of wondering how much is excellence and how much is just like kind of still tainted from that perfectionist mindset.
Actually, when you mentioned about that, I thought about that yesterday, about excellence and perfectionism. There's a fine line, and I can distinguish what excellence is and what perfectionism is. So when you do something, you want to be excellent, and it gives you joy, and you have a spirit of excellence, and it's a really good thing. But when you do something, you think, okay, do I look good on camera? Do I say things clearly? What other people are going to think about me? Maybe they think I'm not perfect enough. Maybe what I do does not matter, and that is a spirit of fear. If you feel like, for the people you're watching right now or watching later today, if you feel you have a spirit of excellence, you feel joy when you do something good, something you think it please your mind, your heart. You think other people also appreciate what you do, and you have a spirit of excellence. But when you feel, okay, I'm stressing out, and I am nervous, I'm anxious, and I keep thinking about what other people are going to think about me, is fear. Is fear. So there's a distinction, but the spirit of excellence is really good.
That is so good, Rena. You know, for those of us that are recovering perfectionists, you know, you have to be delivered of yourself, actually, I think, to break free of perfectionism, because there's a lot of self-idolatry rooted in perfectionism too, on top of, you know, the self-worth and all that other stuff too. But that is powerful as far as that discerner between whether it's excellence or perfectionism that's driving you, because I can tell you that when I'm moving out of the excellence mindset into that and fear-based or whatever's driving me outside of the spirit, is when I get anxious, irritable. And if I'm demanding and oppressive, then I know that that is not a spirit of excellence. And I'm glad that you actually split it apart so people can understand that. Because for those that are actually wired like me, I have my number one strength, according to Clifton and Clifton Strength Finder 2.0. I am an advocate of that. From my coaching practice and just, you know, overall life. But my number one strength is I'm an activator, which means that I can take your stuff, your dreams, your visions, and I can turn it into, I can make it happen. You know, I am a doer. So I have that coupled with, I have an achiever strength, a responsibility strength. And like, I am wired to perform. On top of that, I grew up in a very legalistic mindset as far as being performance-based. So everything about me is just like, if I'm not doing something, I feel worthless.
Yeah, I can understand that. Sometimes I feel that way too. I have to keep doing something. Otherwise, I just feel, oh, you're not productive. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your life. And I can tell living a life of a recovering perfectionist can be tiring, really tiring to the people around you.
Yes, it's tiring to yourself as well, because the conundrum with all that is that on top of everything that I just said with my own personal strengths, another one that's embedded there is a strategic thinking strength, which you typically don't see an activator and a strategic thinker in the same person. Normally, a strategic thinker needs to find an activator in order to bring their thoughts into action. So I literally will sit there and wrestle with myself. I need to sit and think. But then I feel guilty for sitting and thinking. It's like I have this inward struggle with myself between my two strengths combating to be, you know, at the forefront. So, you know, these personal little wars in my head. But let's talk about how you have explained so beautifully in your book how we have the power to change not only our destiny, but also how we think, that our brain has that plastic capability that is moldable. You mentioned that, you know, with stroke patients, you know, with people with, you know, autism, you know, ADHD, that we literally have the way to mold our brains literally in how we think and overcome what man says is a handicap. So let's talk about that.
So I learned some neuroscience concept. It's called neuroplasticity. So your brain is like plastic, and you can edit out bad memories. And I give you a very interesting example. So when I think about my father, think about my childhood, there were a lot of bad, terrible, horrible memories. But now when you ask me about some childhood stories, I don't feel anything at all. No feeling, no bad feeling pleasant right now, actually. And there's some kind of technique, some kind of, I'm not a scientist, but this is something I learned from my coaching practice, the Neuro Leadership Institute, and also other neuroscience research that I read. You can when you think about some old memories, when you think about some ill treatment from your family or from other people in your life, you can change your memory. You can change your memory seriously. So your memory can change. When you add some new meaning, when you add some new stories, or you change the story a little bit over time, every time when you think about that piece of memory and you invite the Holy Spirit in, and it can be changed. And so it's really hard to tell you like exactly how to do in this short hour, but there are some techniques I have learned from inner healing as well, and how to edit out bad memories and replace that with empowering memory. And when you think about the bad things happened in the past, when you recall that piece of memory, sometimes it's so strange. Like my grandma, I didn't talk about my grandma in my book, but my grandma was actually an abuser. And I was emotionally abused by my grandma as well when I was a kid. But now when I think about something happened, I forgot I had a grandma. And then I thought, how can I forget I have a grandma? And that is so miraculous.
That's amazing that you say that, because I was literally just in the Word on Friday where the Lord was talking to me about feelings. And the service this past weekend, our pastor, Pastor Brent, was talking about feelings and about emotions and about unforgiveness and about how getting trapped in offense, and how that we literally have to come to the altar of forgiveness and basically hand things over. And you're taking it even, the Lord's giving us the next step, that not only taking it past forgiveness, but also redeeming and healing those memories. That you're such a neat message for today, Rena, that I'm just blown away by how the Lord has orchestrated the order of y'all as far as the authors coming through and the messages, and about the restoration of not only who we are in our identity, but also He wants us to enjoy our life. He wants us to have like the joy of not only the success, the joy of living. And one of the things that he was sharing with me on Friday is that memories were supposed to be like enhancers, that they were supposed to basically bring out the highlights in an experience, but because of the fall of man, that they became defiled. So, you can't always rely on your feelings. You shouldn't discount them, but they're not to be like something that you rely solely on. And he was sharing with me how, from a coaching practice, that you need to look at the circumstances that you're feeling these certain things about, because you can trauma bond, but you also can have like a positive bond as well. And in order to gain that balance, you need to make sure that when you're dealing with your emotions and doing that repair work, that you're severing the bond to the circumstances. Is that something that you looked into?
Yes, actually, I am trying to help people how to think right. And I want to introduce a concept that Dr. Caroline Leaf, she talked about mirror neurons. When you think highly of yourself, or you think about yourself as a competent, good person, and then when you interact with other people with that kind of thinking, and then that neuron actually mirror with the other person, and then it will attract right treatment from the other person. So if you think yourself like dirt, and then people are going to treat you like dirt. When you think yourself like powerful, valuable, and people treat you like that. And this is something I want to have people to practice on.
Yeah, and that's something that I think that is easily perverted into like the law of attraction, where it's not necessarily the law of attraction, but it's about, you surround yourself with things that you want to be like, and you will start bringing things in because of what you're attracting to yourself, just from the sowing and reaping concept. So it's not like that magnetism is literally like a sowing and reaping. If you want to be kind to someone, you're going to reap kindness. You want to be mean to someone, then you're going to probably, reap that type of response back. So I'm glad that you actually address that in your coaching practice and then also your training. I mean, Rena, if you guys don't know her background, even more than what I actually shared, she has done corporate training where she's literally helped organizations train their professionals into a mindset shift. She's literally the face of possibilities. I see Rena as someone that didn't stay in a state where her father pressed her down and made her feel like she was garbage. She didn't stay in a position where she felt like she couldn't do what she wanted to do. One of the things that really pressed on my heart chords when I was reading your book was the fact that you wanted to be a fashion designer. You wanted to do all this stuff, an opera singer, but your father didn't want you to do that because it wasn't his version of success. But at one point you pressed out of that, and now if you want to do it, you just do it. And you quoted Van Gogh, and I thought, and I love to paint. And the thing is that I think in your quote, he said that if you hear a voice telling you that you can't paint, paint anyway.
Yes.
And
I actually, learned fashion design before. Actually, when I was in my early 20s, I did. And when I was a kid, I thought I wanted to become a Chinese, an author, writing Chinese novels. And I tell you a side story. It's not in my book. One of my English professor told me, your English is your fatal weakness. So I never thought I would ever write anything in English, let alone #1 bestseller. It was surreal.
That's what I love, is the fact that there's no limits for you now. Now that you have truly grasped the power of not just positive thinking, but just becoming who you are. And you actually mentioned this in the book too, how it's unlimited possibilities. If you truly want to do it and it's in your heart to do, and it's something that the Lord has gifted you to do, go for it. You literally have gone out, and it's like whatever has taken your fancy, you tried to learn it. You've taken classes, and tell us the various things that you've gone out and done. It's like, there's like so many in the book to mention. It's like, from the fashion design to computer science, and what have you not done?
And this is so interesting. So people have a concept, or they think Asian people are good at math, but it's not me. I was not good at math. And then I thought, well, let's not touch programming or computer science, that kind of things, because you need to have good math, logics, things like that. But it turned out I actually got A in programming, C++, and I even learned some like what is object-oriented programming, things like that. That I thought, well, you never ever tell you're not good at something, because you can learn. You never know.
That is amazing, because how did you get out of the mindset that you weren't good at it? Tell us how you made that transition from that you can't, you aren't, you won't, to the fact that you're getting A's, that you're free to go out and do whatever your heart, is desiring to learn and to be. How did you make that transition? What was like the turning point for you?
So do it. Just do it. Don't think. Just do it. Just tell yourself it's okay. I got C and I got C. I fail. Who cares? You can improve. You can always improve. I remember when I came to the US, the first English class I took, I nearly failed. I nearly failed. And then my professor had to mentor me one-on-one and help me with my English. And then eventually I got A in that class. And then at the end of the quarter, actually I was the number two. I ranked number 2 in English in that class. And so no matter whether you fail in math, you fail in English, it doesn't matter. Just improve, just do it.
I think you've also touched on another powerful tidbit of wisdom, that success isn't necessarily how we have been defining it. It's not a pass-fail. It's not a grade. It's not a matter of, crossing the finish line. It's a matter of doing. It's a matter of going out and trying, and it's a matter of knowing that you're making steps toward the vision, and that is the measurement of success. It's a matter of actioning instead of just, sitting back and just withering away in your shame, your doubts, man's word curses over you. So I think that how you're defining success is critical for people to transform.
Yes. And I can foresee there is some technical issues on my side, so I have to step away for a moment.
Okay, so it's one of those things that as Rena's fixing her tech, I want you guys to realize that she has literally poured out on paper the how to get yourself out of the rut. I don't care how many years that you have actually been in the position that you're in. If you are tired of being in a position where you're not dreaming, if your life is lacking joy, maybe you have some things that you have on your bucket list that you think that are no longer achievable, that's something that I'm going to tell you that is a lie from the pit of hell, because literally we have the ability to become who we're called to be. And it's a matter of knowing who you are and your true identity, which is rooted in Christ, especially if you know Jesus. So Rena has in Trained for Joy the steps on how to go from the toxic belief system, everything from, not feeling worthy to being a perfectionist. I'm telling you what, she nailed me in that chapter. I was like, oh, wow. It's like, I still think I have areas to grow in, and we all do. So you just know that you got to give yourself grace, and that it's a journey. So you have to go to a position of that mindset that it's not like you're going to cross it off the list. And then that was part of my problem. I had to realize that I'm a work in progress. And when I'm done breathing, then I'm done. But until then, you have to give yourself the grace to grow. So Reba said, the book's really good. And I can tell you, Reba, I wholeheartedly agree. It deserves to be a bestseller because it's not only powerful, it's substantiated on top of, for those people that need to know statistics, she has it all throughout there. She has all the science, all the research to support what she's saying. But bottom line, it is spiritually sound as far as going in and becoming who you are and transitioning out of negativity. She addresses, the optimist versus the pessimist and how you can literally train yourself to be optimistic. So if you think that you're critical and you're stuck there, you don't have to be. It's literally a choice, and it's a decision that you have to make.
So I can still speak, but maybe the video there's some problem.
Okay, I can see a little bit of you on your camera, just so you know that you're off to the side. So, so Rena, Susan was asking, what brought you to America? Do you have family here? And I know that you talk about in your book about that, and you said it was serendipity that brought you here. So do you want to talk more about that? And by the way, hi to Sierra. She said that hello to everyone. She's made it. So do you want to address that, how you came to America?
My father wanted me to come to the US when he was alive, and my uncle is in Arizona. However, I never agreed with that idea because I had a lot of good friends in Hong Kong, and I love my friends, and I love the environment in Hong Kong. Everything seemed perfect. But after he passed away, 1 year after he passed away, And I felt so stuck in my career. I was a medical social worker, and I worked with a lot of people who had insurmountable difficulties. And I felt I began to have depression. So I knew I had depression, I believe. And then I thought I wanted a new life. I wanted to start over. I want to go to some place where no one knows me so I can start over. So I met a friend in a banquet, and then she said, why don't you come over to America to learn some English? And then I stayed in the US, and I found my path in the US.
Okay, so she basically has had a journey here, and I thank the Lord that she's been positioned where she is, because she's making such a huge impact on the area where she's assigned. She has transitioned from doing so many different things that she's aggregating it and pouring it out through her coaching practice. And for those of you that are, in on the giveaway, she's giving away a ticket to a master class. So you're going to have an opportunity to train with her if you're chosen. So today I want you guys to know that she has unlimited downloads for her ebook. And I'm going to pop the share up in just a second so you guys can actually see the book, and I'll give you the link. But also know that for today and tomorrow, unlimited downloads of the ebook. So if you haven't gotten the book, I highly recommend that you do. And then also, she's giving away 3 signed copies of a limited edition cover, which is it's awesome. And so anyway, she's going to give away 3 copies of a signed limited edition, plus the fact that there's so many embedded freebies, giveaways, freemiums, whatever you want to call them. They're jewels embedded in her book. So on top of, the book being, a free download, there's things that you can download within the book that are even more awesome. So you have giveaways that are about $475 worth of value that she's giving out from her generous heart. So, all right, let me go ahead and let me share your book real quickly, Rena. That way people can see what it looks like. And also I want to give the link so people can actually get a hold of it. Okay, so it's Train for Joy, Break the 5 Toxic Beliefs That Hold You Back from Success. And it's author Corinna Kong. She's #1 best-selling author. This book is amazing. It is a short read, but a very powerful read, and it will change your life if you actually start actioning what's in here. And for today and tomorrow only, you can get it for free for download for the ebook. And it's https://amzn.to/2QLGEGW. Okay, so that is the link to get it for free for today and tomorrow. And again, it's https://amzn.to/2QLGEGW. Great book. Great idea for Christmas presents. So for those of you who are still shopping for people in your life and you want to bless them, I want you to know that this book is a blessing to people that you love, because it will help them transform their lives into a life of joy, a life of success. Yes, joy is a fruit of the Spirit, but it's something that is super sweet when it is wrapped around things, when you change how you think and what you're doing. So, Rena, let's talk about how can people find you going forward? Where are you at that people can reach back to you? Because I want them to know about your university and your website.
You can visit my website. My website is www.gohappyu.com. Go, GOHAPPYYOU.com. Go, Happy You. So the meaning of Go Happy You is to go forward, to claim your happiness and leverage your personal power.
Yep, and that's something that, she's out on Instagram, she's out on Facebook, and you can find her at her website. And you definitely want to engage into Rena's training, because one, she actually has the ability to get you on the path of your dreams again. She will help you start envisioning where you want to go and making that become reality. That's what I love about what she does. She's not about theory. She's about helping you to action that. Okay, and so if you guys are on Facebook, please leave your email if you want in on the giveaways. We'll announce those later on today or tomorrow once everyone has a chance to reply. And then also, if you are in on webinar, you're already in. I have you guys hooked up. You're ready to go. So if you have questions about anything that Rena's talking about, anything that you want to talk to her about, pop them into the chat. That way I actually can see them. If you're on Facebook too, pop your questions in there. That way we can interact and triage those as well. But you have a lot of accolades on your book in chat, Rena, as far as, everyone's saying that the book is great. It's very revealing. And, Larry said he has it and it's so good. And Larry, I agree with you. So is there anything that y'all want to ask Rena about? Go ahead and put this in here and I'll moderate it for her. And then she is also posting links up here as far as, how to find her on Facebook and on Instagram, and the link to her website, which is www.gohappyu.com. And that's another way that you can reach back to Rena and keep up with her as well. And check out her services, because she has a tremendous gift to help you transition into positivity, to get you out of the toxic mindset and to help you remap your thinking. So lots of training to go along with practical experience and success rates that you can actually look at her credentialing and know that not only does she know what she's talking about, she's literally, lived it out. So Rena, any last parting nuggets of wisdom before we get ready to wrap up here? Because we're getting close to the top of the hour. So unless there's some questions that come in that I want to ask you about from the attendees, what do you have that you want people to walk away with?
So I want to encourage the viewers, just go forward. You have dreams. You have bigger dreams. Don't allow your toxic thinking or your self-limiting beliefs to stop you from going forward. Achieve your dreams. You have dreams. Don't let other people tell you you cannot achieve your dreams. You cannot do it. Don't allow other people to say you don't matter, or you are a failure, you're rejected, or you're condemned. Never ever allow that kind of thoughts, that kind of thinking, that kind of feeling, that kind of spirit to stop you from taking actions. So I would like to share with you, dreams don't work unless you do. It's from a very well-known leadership consultant. And this is something I learned and I hold true to. So you need to move forward. You need to take actions, small, deliberate, consistent actions every single day. If you want to write a book, write your book every single day, one paragraph at a time, one page at a time. If you want to achieve your dreams, you need to take actions. You cannot just think, I will achieve my dreams one day, because if you really want to achieve big goals, big dreams, you need to take actions. So focus on taking actions and focus on doing the things that you love. And also focus on leveraging your strengths, your talents, and your gifts. And also one thing I want to add, when you do something, you feel a strife. You don't feel natural. You don't feel you're called to do. You always have to be discerned, whether this is some requirement from other people, expectation from other people on you, or you really want to do it. So when you think about your dreams, think about whether it's from your heart, from your soul, from your spirit. Think about whether the dreams are from other people. So if the dreams are from your father, from your spouse, from whoever, and when you try to achieve your dreams, you just don't feel like going forward. You need to be discerned. So I want you to have the wisdom to know the spirit of excellence versus the spirit of fear, and also achieve the dreams, your own version of your dreams, your own version of your success, but not someone else.
That is a great nugget of wisdom to share. And one of the things that I had learned during my life coaching training, there was a pastor that we trained with, and he used to tell us that if it was a spirit of fear that drew you closer to the Lord, then it was godly fear. If it was something that caused you to shrink back and make you be less than who God called you to be, or to be afraid of the Lord, then it was ungodly fear. So that's how to help you discern as well, whether it's excellence, perfectionism, because perfectionism is not of the Lord. He knows that, there's flaws within us. He's our perfectionism. He is he's the perfect in us, and we have the grace to be us, thank God. So, another thing too, that you have a great message here from Chudy. So you have an accolade on that piece of wisdom. So I just want to validate what Chudy said in chat. You said something in your book, Corinna, and I wanted to ask you, because I thought about this. You asked, what do you want to have written on your headstone when you pass? Or what do you want people to know about you when you pass? And I was thinking about that, and I'll let you know what immediately came to mind for mine, but what would you want people to write on your tombstone if you happen to miss the rapture and have to go to the grave to go up? So what would you want people to say?
I have a big dream. Actually, I have a bigger dream. I want to help the young children in underprivileged communities to become leaders in their community so that they transform the world. So when people come to my funeral or to say something nice about me after I passed, I would like them to say she used her life to equip the children and help the children to grow past their traumatic past. And the children believe in themselves, not only that, they become the leaders who transform the world. Then this is one very nice thing I would like to hear when people come to my funeral or say to me.
Well, that's a lot nicer than what mine was. Mine had a little marketing spin on it. It kind of like, short to the point, but mine was going to be like, I died trying. It's just like, I just wanted to say, I may not, get there according to man's, but I'm going to try. Beth Moore, when I was doing one of her trainings, I love Beth. She's one of my spiritual moms along my journey of growing up in the Lord. And she did one of her trainings where she talked about, when she gets into heaven, she wants to basically, enter in, with her knees scraped up and bloody, and whatever it took, for her to know that she gave her all. And that kind of struck a chord with me. It's like, I want to know, and I want Jesus to know that he's going to get all of my trying. It's not performance based. It's basically, all in giving that out. And I was just thinking, when you asked that in your book, what do you want your tombstone to say, or your gravestone? It's like, what immediately came to mind is that I wanted to die, or be known as, dying and trying. So anyway, a little bit of funniness there, but think about that. That's actually some food for thought there that you need to ponder, because it does make a difference on how you live your life. What do you want to be known for? You only get one chance at this time in your flesh suit. What do you want to accomplish, while you're here? We each have a purpose and a destiny that the Lord has imparted into us for him to live through us. What are you going to do with the days that you're given? So really important that you think about that. And Rena has some great help for you in Train for Joy. Make sure you get her download. And then also, I want to go ahead and wrap this up. We're at the top of the hour. This is the Launch Author Reveal. For those of you that are watching live on Facebook, go ahead and grab a hold of Rena's book. It's free for today and tomorrow. And then also she's giving away 3 signed copies of a limited edition. And then also a chance for training with her in one of her master's classes. She's giving one awesome winner, Launch Author Reveal winner, a chance to train with her. And sorry, my puppy's down here turtling. So if you hear her, that's her. It's not me. This is another brilliant thing of going live. You get all the sound effects that aren't ours too. But anyway, so get in on Rena's giveaways. If you're on the Zoom webinar, you're going to be automatically put in. I want you guys to go in, grab a hold of this book, get it for people for Christmas, because there's a lot of negativity out there that needs to be overcome, and Rena can help break you out of that. This book. So that being said, this is the Launch Author Reveal. And if you're an author and want to come on for a reveal like Rena has, go to launchauthorreveal.com. Let me know how I can help you. You just have to have a book that's edifying, uplifting, or educational. And I'd love to have you on and have fun with us on these live reveals and interact with your tribe and let people know how awesome you are. And again, thank you all for watching today. Your life is beautiful and everyone has a story. I want you to reveal yours and let it shine. Thanks again for viewing. And Rena, thanks for coming on. So loved catching up with you and just showcasing you today and revealing your awesomeness. So you all take care, and we will catch you on Thursday, where we have another best-selling author. The one and only Chudy Reed is coming on, and she is going to talk about her #1 best-selling book, Rise Up, and talk to you about value and really understanding who you are. Powerful, powerful testimony and story. Her reveal is one that you don't want to miss. And I'm going to do something I've not done yet. This is the one who's making all the noise. So Zoe, say hi.
Hi.
This is Zoe. She's the one that's back there in the background, gurgling, chortling. She's at the door. She hears something. It's probably a squirrel. But anyway, you guys, thanks for coming on to the Launch Author Reveal and viewing today. God bless you all. I will see you on Thursday, where we're going live again at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with Miss Chudy Reed. And I'll look forward to announcing the launch winners for Rena's fantastic giveaway. So you guys take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining the Launch Author Reveal with Michelle Chudy. Write a book? Get launched. Head over to launchauthorreveal.com. Every life is a beautiful story. Reveal yours and let it shine.
You could be larger than life.